Well, hello. I'm going to be talking to you about some of the things you need to kind of keep in mind for your process speech. I choose to do this way because I think it's a little more conversational, and there's some things that I can remind you of in these videos, and it's easier for me to talk. I teach speech. I don't teach English, so as a result, I talk better than I write. A couple of things. Number one, this is a process speech. Process speeches tend to be chronological, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. There are steps. As a hint for you, I would suggest you take a look at any cooking program. And what I want you to keep in mind is that when they're putting the ingredients together in whatever it is that they're making, you have never seen a cook on a cooking program have a bag of flour and a measuring cup and take the measuring cup and then scrape off what they don't need and get it to exactly 1 cup of flour or a quarter cup or whatever. All right? You've never seen that happen because in the program itself, they say you put in a cup of this and a teaspoon of that and half of this, and they just dump it in out of pre-measured things. That's what you need to think in terms of the process speech. We don't need every painful detail. We just need to understand what it is that you're doing. Whatever the process is, break it down into its fundamental steps. And then I really like the example of a cooking program because there's a couple of things you need to know. First, you show all of the ingredients, and you tell people as you're doing it, a cup of this, a teaspoon of this, a pinch of that, those kinds of things. You also do it in a sequential order, and then you mix it, and you show a little bit about, and when it's all mixed up, it looks like this. And then you say something like, and then you put it in an oven at 1200 degrees for 7 hours, and when it's done, and they always then show what it looks like when it's done. And that's one of the key ingredients in a process speech is we're going to tell you how to do this, and you tend to do the steps. But what we really need to see is what it looks like when it's done. I don't need to see you sit there and make something all the way through, so you have to kind of abbreviate the steps as you go. Now, I've had a couple of people say to me some things, so let's talk. This is the shot that I want to see. I don't care what you've read anywhere else. That's an online class. You're kind of doing this for me. I want the straight-in shot from your camera, my eyes, your eyes on the same level. All right, the other thing is watch the background. This is pretty noisy background. Stand against a wall of some kind that's kind of plain. I see one of you has put like a drape or something behind you. That's fine. Just kind of make sure the background's not distracting. This is my office and it's a mess, so you can see that there's a lot of things that would draw your attention away. I need to see the 6 people in your audience. Now, I think the easiest way to do this is turn on the camera and let it run for 10 seconds or so, and that way it settles down, the audio's on and everything's working. Have your audience walk in front of the camera one at a time, look at the camera, and they might even say their name. The name makes no difference, but it makes them pause for a second while looking at the camera to give their name. After they're all clear and they're all seated, then you walk in front of the camera and begin. I don't care whether you show me the audience at the end of your speech or not. I just need to see that you have 6 people over the age of 16 in your audience for the beginning. All right? Now, you need to hit the time limit. The time limit is 3 to 5 minutes. This is a statewide course. If I were doing this, I would not give you a 2-minute slop time, but that's what it is. So, as a result, I'm going to be pretty critical that you hit that time. 3 to 5 minutes gives you a lot of latitude. So you've got to come in over 3, but under 5. All right? You also need to follow the guidelines on recording, not only this kind of bust line, inch or 2 above the head. Keep the camera close enough to you because the microphone is on the camera. And shoot straight in, and if you have to put it on a ladder or something and get it up on whatever you do, some of the first videos that you've done, you did 2 already. It looks like you put a cell phone or something on a coffee table, a lot of you. A couple of you did do this shot, which is fine. That's to your credit. Now we're into the let's get serious about how this is all done. So I need to be able to see you. I need light on your face. I need to make sure the light covers your whole face. I don't need one side of your face to be in a shadow and I can't see you. I need to see your eyes. Very expressive. I need to be able to see your eyes. All right. You need a preparation outline for this speech and a speaking outline for this speech. I'm looking at what it says here so that I get this all right. You might think in terms of a visual aid for this. If you use a visual aid, what I suggest is you either hold it up in front of your face on camera, or make a copy of it and send it along with your outlines. Now there is instruction in your blackboard that tells you how to send your preparation outline and your speaking outline when you do that. All right, so make sure that if you have a visual aid that it's integral to the speech and that it's something that helps move your speech along. I like shorter speeches because the longer the speech, the more there's a tendency for you to ramble. A short speech makes you make choices. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of hints. I never want you to read a speech to me. There is one exception. We'll talk about that later. And I never want you to memorize a speech or even try to memorize a speech. I want you to talk the speech. I want you to tell a story. I want you to talk to me, not at me. I call it in my face-to-face class, I call it don't speechify at me. All right. Now, the words like going, coming, doing, being, I don't hear the G sound on the end of that. Going, coming, doing, being. All right. However, a good story sometimes trumps the precision of articulation. So, again, if you tell a good story and you have a couple of things, I'm going to be more forgiving of that because I'm looking for the story. That's the key thing that I'm looking for in whatever you do. Tell the story. Remember that there's an element of tell me what you're going to talk about, short. Tell me then. And then a little bit of tell me what you told me. The other thing that I'm vitally interested in is what is your credibility for this? In other words, whatever it is you're talking about credibility could be as simple as all my life I've been interested in this topic and read on it, and that's why I'm interested in talking to you about it today. Or if you're talking about something in law enforcement, then it could be I'm a policeman and been a police person for 10 years. All right. The other thing is, keep in mind, you can only use a topic once in this class. So if you talk about, I don't know what, if you talk about cooking in this speech, you can't do a cooking thing in your other speeches. You got to have a totally different topic. All right. Those are some things you need to keep in mind. What else do you need to know? Well, your preparation outline, your speaking outline, you have information on that. This speech is worth 100 points. It starts to get serious now. The points go up. You've had two 25-point speeches. And I can't think of anything else that'll help you other than kind of relax, kind of talk to me, don't talk at me. Line the camera up with your eyes. This shot, bust line to an inch or two above the head so I can see your face closely. And don't forget to read up on all of the things you need to do. I need to see your audience of 6 people, 16 years of age or older. At the very beginning, it'd be nice if they walk in front of the camera and give their age. Do not let anyone get behind you. I don't want to see your audience while you're speaking. I don't want to see you while you're speaking. So if the audience is out here, fine. That's been a little bit of a problem in a couple of speeches on that. If you think of anything, you have any questions, don't hesitate to call me in my office and talk to me. I'd much rather talk to you than write long, involved answers. Okay, for the most part, by the way, you're doing well. I've got to record midterm grades. This is a course that it's heavily loaded to the end of the year. So I'm going to put down that everybody's getting a C. Don't worry about that because some of you are obviously going to end up with much better than a C. But I don't want to say right now that anyone is failing, and I don't want to commit right now that anyone is head and shoulders over anyone else in the course. So if you see a C on the midterm grade thing, don't panic. It doesn't mean much now. Just keep doing the job. If you have any questions at all, call me in my office. Okay? I think that pretty well covers it. I'm looking over to see that it looks like I got all the video in there that I needed to get, and that we have something. So I will talk to you next time. Good luck with your process speech. I'm looking forward to seeing them.